It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, our very good friend, all-star panelist, recovering journalist, public affairs specialist, and all-around good guy, Clint Brewer. Welcome, Clint.
Hey, man. Good to be back.
1 week, 5 days, 23 hours, 55 minutes. Not that I'm counting. That's when Donald Trump will be inaugurated.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can't.
Of course.
And it's like, can we make it that long?
I was about to say, I thought this was like something about the Titans at first. I was like,
no.
Everybody's counting down to the end of the season. I guess it already happened.
How did we notice? It just, the Titans did not play anymore. Okay, so Trump, I can't wait until noon Eastern time, Monday, January 20th. That will be
I
fantastic.
think there'll be people screaming in the streets like last time.
It'll be a little bit more subdued, I think.
I think so, too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've got the plexiglass or the bulletproof glass ready for them there.
I would hope so.
I mean, I'm worried about drone attacks. I'm worried about everything.
Yeah.
In terms of his personal safety. And, oh, by the way, Mr. Soon-to-be President, Mr. President-elect, you know that rally you're planning the day before? Please don't do it. I mean, but, hey, he's Donald Trump.
He's going to do what he wants to do.
He's going to do what he wants to do. Of course, the fun thing I've been having is, he'd sent his son, Donald Trump Jr., up to Greenland.
I saw that. It was sort of played off like he was up there to get content for a podcast or something, like it was personal reasons.
He was up there, and then we played the clip of Donald Trump calling in, just all over the place now. He called into the meeting in Greenland. Oh, I love everybody in Greenland. Come on board. We'll see how that plays out.
I don't think Denmark's going to turn loose at Greenland.
I predict we'll get Greenland.
It's like the Louisiana Purchase.
We're going to get it. It will be the biggest acquisition of land by the United States since the Louisiana Purchase of 1803.
I know, but I don't know. How do
Thomas Jefferson, Donald Trump, just separated at birth.
It is a fascinating idea.
I got another fascinating idea. Ready?
Yep.
So here is something he said this morning at Mar-a-Lago after he announced his big financial investment of $20 billion into infrastructure and data centers by this Emirati billionaire who's his pal. Mm-hmm. This is Trump being Trump. Let me play this clip. Listen to this clip, and then I'd like to get your reaction.
Okay.
$50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico.
Okay, the Gulf of America, not the Gulf of Mexico.
Who actually has the naming rights to that, to any body of international water? How does that work? I don't even know.
It's not like there's it's not like a geographic naming right registry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was just agreed to a couple hundred years ago, and nobody's bothered to differ with it.
It's not a copyright thing. It's not a trademark thing.
If it just started being called the Gulf of America in American schools, then it would become the Gulf of America.
I think that's what his plan is.
Okay.
I kind of love it because it's like Trump. It's the new Monroe Doctrine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the data centers thing is super interesting. I think seeing that investment, I know you talked about in the last segment, but already seeing investment coming in the U.S. as a result of the change in administration is it's good to see.
The other thing that's kind of interesting, it's sort of this new, how do I say this vibrant can-do Americanism.
Yes,
that we see, and Elon, as an example, so Elon Musk is a guy kind of doing that as well.
He is.
In his own Elon Musk sort of way. But speaking of changing names, So he's incorporating these new cities in Texas. One is maybe he's not changing the name, where he's building the Teslas in Texas, and then there's this where they've put this place near Brownsville, Texas, where they launched the rockets. Right? Mm-hmm. It's right on the. Let me get the language right. It's right on the Gulf of America.
You're gonna jump ahead. Go ahead and rename it here.
Let's jump. We are renaming it here.
I always wonder when he says those things, is this something he's been talking about for a while, or did he just come up with that on the spot?
I think he thought of it like as he was speaking.
You just don't know. But the investment in Texas has become, the new go west young man.
It's the new California, sort of, in terms of economic opportunity.
Right.
It's not nearly. Nowhere in Texas is as pretty as California.
Right.
Can you think of anywhere in Texas that's pretty?
No.
In that way?
No.
But it's vibrant.
Yeah, the economy is vibrant.
It's totally vibrant. And back to the naming thing, we may be in a new era of growth here, where we get a whole bunch of new places with new names. So, for instance, the Gulf of America. I can't wait to go down to the Redneck Riviera and go swimming in the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then, so we've got in that little, it's a county, I forget the name of it, where Brownsville is, where they've got the rocket launching facility for SpaceX. Elon Musk has a petition to incorporate that as a new city called Starbase.
Huh.
I love that. Actually,
yeah. It's kind of a brave new world right now. Let's hang on to this moment of hope and optimism, and hope that we're gonna start steering the country more permanently in this direction. The concept of American exceptionalism is coming back.
Boom, and of course,
coming back.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And the key to this, and this is sort of a Trumpism kind of thing, is okay. American exceptionalism can only come back if we win.
Right.
That's the whole idea.
Right.
Right. Win, be the best.
Right. And that's not to say that there's not a lot of work to do. It's not to say that there aren't a lot of challenges, but it's nice to see some positivity about the country.
Yes, it's about that time to see positivity about the country. Now, we've been watching. I don't know what this is. Did the Democrats get the memo about positivity?
Well, it's funny you say that. So, of course, we ratified an election yesterday.
Certified it. Yeah.
Certified, rather.
Yeah.
And the news reports of it this morning that I heard made a big deal about the fact that nobody objected. And so apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, but apparently in years past, there's been sort of nominal or procedural type objections during certification processes.
Well, I don't know, like January 6, 2021, that was infamous for that process.
Okay, well, set that aside.
But before that,
I'm talking more in the chamber procedural type objections.
So I can tell you
there weren't any this time.
January 6, 2017, there were a number of Democrat objections.
Yes.
And not so much in 2012, but in 2013, but 2009, there were a number of attempted objections to Barack Obama.
Right.
And that had to do with the whole thing about the birth issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There have been
from Republicans.
There have been from both parties sort of nominal procedural vocal objections in the chamber. There weren't any this time. And it's going back, three presidents that we've had them, and now
the last time there weren't objections, I think, would have been 96 when Bill Clinton was reelected.
Maybe they just looked at the scoreboard this time.
I think they did.
Yeah.
We'll have more with the great Clint Brewer when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Read all our stories at TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. Back after this.
Hi Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, all-star panelist, good friend, Clint Brewer. Clint, we've got basically 1 week, 5 days, 22 hours, and a few minutes until Trump.
And I just, in case the listeners can't tell, you're giddy.
I am beyond
You're giddy.
America's back. Now, part of this is we're starting to see the muscular version of Trump policies here in every way, and he's really racking up a lot of wins. Here is a breaking story. Headline from Just the News: Judge Aileen Cannon blocks Jack Smith from releasing final report on Trump investigation. That's a big win.
Yeah,
because obviously Jack Smith, who's now said he's going to resign,
right?
I don't know, in the next week or so. He wanted to put out a report saying bad Donald Trump, basically.
Yeah,
not going to do it. Not going to do it. The story by Stephen Richards: Judge Aileen Cannon blocked special counsel Jack Smith from releasing his final report from his investigation into President-elect Trump until the court has time to review an emergency motion from two Trump co-defendants. Smith was set to publish the report in the coming days. This means basically if it gets released, it's going to take him quite a time to review that objection. And by that time, he will no longer be the special counsel Now, what do you think the odds are that somebody will leak this report and it will be published?
Well, that's a push. I mean, that's a good 50-50 chance that comes out, right?
I think.
I mean, if you can leak things out of the U.S. Supreme Court, you can leak that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that same thing.
But I mean, if you leak this, it only comes from one place. There are a lot of places, the U.S. Supreme Court. You know,
everybody will know that Jack Smith leaked it.
Yeah, there are 9 offices in the U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but and Jack Smith, you know, if the court tells him he can't release it and somehow it gets leaked, if I'm Jack Smith,
does that put you in contempt?
Yeah. You don't want to be in contempt of court now, do you?
No.
Clint? Yeah. Look, if Jack Smith is what I would suggest to Jack Smith, hire private counsel. Pretty soon.
Go quietly off in the sunset.
Yeah, but he's still gonna be having to be on the lookout for it, potential criminal activity actions against him. We'll see how that plays out. Now, Donald Trump. You know, when he came in the first term, he really didn't know how the government ran.
Right.
And he didn't have around him a dedicated team.
Yeah, it's been a consistent theme in the reporting for this new administration. He's got a more seasoned team around him who understands government. He himself, as the president, understands more of how government works, where the pitfalls are, where the traps are, where you can press the advantage, where you can move things quickly, where you can't.
Well, he's having a press conference in Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago today, and he's making news all the time. And here's the latest in the past half hour. You know, he brought in this special envoy for peace in the Middle East, Steve Witkoff.
Right.
Very accomplished guy. And so Witkoff was there with him, and we've got Trump being Trump at this meeting. So here we go. Let's get the clip of Trump just about half an hour ago at Mar-a-Lago.
Back probably either this evening or tomorrow night.
Are you confident there'll be a deal before January 20th, or is that something that's likely to happen? If there's a deal even at all, we've been hearing this now for the better part of.
I know. I would say. They better be. Right. I would say that the president is exasperated. I don't want to talk for him, but look, I don't know anyone who delegates better than President Trump. He gives us a lot of authority to speak on his behalf, and he exhorts us to speak emphatically. And emphatically means you better get it, you better do this, because the alternative.
Do you think they're waiting for President Trump to take office?
No, I think they heard him loud and clear. Better get done by the inaugural.
But when you say all hell will be paid, all hell must be paid if they don't release the hostages.
Well, do I have to define it for you? Look, all hell will break out. If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given him back a lot.
There he is.
Yep. Well, you know, I've read a lot about his negotiating style. It harkens back to his time in you know, as a real estate developer. He's all about leverage. You know, I mean, that is his whole. It's not the traditional political negotiating style that DC is used to. He wants to, in every situation, establish leverage. And, you know, making these kind of comments, I think, are calculated. I honestly, I think they're focused just as much on Israel as they are Hamas. I mean, I think he's, you know, and I think it's focused on some of our allies over there and saying, look, you know, economically, it's not going to be good for you either. So yeah, I think the posturing is calculated and intentional.
I think you're exactly right. And now, if you're Hamas right now, look, they've got, I think, still there are 100 or so hostages that they've had now for over a year, since October 7th of 2023. And we don't know how many of them are alive.
Well, I've seen news coverage of that. They've said we've got to see who's left. You know, I mean, I'm not sure Hamas knows how many is alive.
I think that's a point. And I saw in this recent discussion that they are willing to begin discussions to release 34 hostages. I see that, and I wonder if, well, is that all they know that are alive?
Yeah.
Because the way this has apparently happened is, they take the hostages and they've distributed them to various power groups in Hamas of varying levels of competence and of varying levels of, I don't know, incivility, shall we say.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you're unfortunate enough to have been a hostage and, you're in a group, you're held by a group that is filled with vicious, beyond vicious, evil terrorists, you might not make it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year. Some of these people without medical care, some of them without having seen a doctor from their injuries. They may have received as being taken hostage, or some of them may have health concerns that were pre-existing prior to this, attack. Some of them are very young people. Some of them are very old people.
So what certainly has happened to the young women is they've been brutally raped repeatedly. At least that's what the testimony of some that came back.
Yeah.
And then to some of and if you think about this, if you think about, let's say, a young 18-year-old girl who has been in captivity for over a year,
yeah,
and has been repeatedly raped and beaten, how do you rebuild from that?
Right.
I don't think you do. I mean, I think your spirit has been crushed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that. What did you say? 107.
I think that officially,
I can't imagine there are 107 hostages left to return.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I mean, just being realistic, not trying to, pick a side or say this person's right, that. I mean, it just is realistic, and it would be realistic in any war zone, right? I mean, they weren't all inventoried and cataloged and their healthcare needs noted and then put with, kind, respectable people who are going to preserve them as hostages. I mean, that happens. With a more professional, a more professional army, that's what happens.
Well, if you look at,
you keep the hostages. They're there to bargain with, right? I mean,
if you look at the history of hostages, were common during the medieval era, for instance.
Sure.
And, the warring countries, also during the Crusades. But what they would do is they would take a royalty or a high-level commander hostage, and they would typically not abuse them because they were taken hostage for money.
Yes.
They would typically take them hostage for money. They were not as much ideological.
And that's my point. I think these hostages were not taken with any particular goal in mind other than to have hostages.
And, to leverage them and to use them to, terrorize and dispirit your opposition.
Yes.
I think that's really what they wanted to do. Now, Witikoff the special envoy for peace in the Middle East, now he's there today in Mar-a-Lago. My guess is he's going to jet off to, somewhere in the Middle East pretty soon. And those discussions, those are going to be tough discussions.
Yeah.
And, dealing with the guys in Hamas, can you trust them? I do think that there will probably be, these 34 will probably be released between now and January 20th. But I don't know if there's any alive beyond that.
I don't know.
The reality.
I don't, the military approach that Israel has taken has not worked to resolve the situation. So, there's even frustration within Israel about the inability to get these hostages back.
So I'm not a military expert, and I don't know very much about this. I'm not sure. I don't have a similar perspective on that because I don't know if Israel has a lot of options. I generally tend to be supportive of what Netanyahu's doing. Having said that,
well, I'm just saying,
I'm just a guy from Tennessee.
They hadn't been able to get them back.
That is a true statement. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to politics. We're here with Clint Brewer. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Company takes this special time to salute the Franklin men and women in uniform who've answered the call for our freedom. Let's give them the hero's welcome they deserve as they fought hard to restore peace around the world. American troops are our angels of protection, so stand up and salute them proudly. This message is courtesy of our good friends at Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road in Franklin. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction. I want to say a few words about our friends at the Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road. The Nashville Pizza Company in Franklin reminds us that the current economic times have been tough on many families in our area, and many are finding it hard to make ends meet. Your donations of clothing or canned goods can make a difference for a family in need. During this holiday season, give from the heart so others can have a new start. That's courtesy of our friends at Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road in Franklin. They are always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Hey there,
Impersonator not endorsed
founder
by Donald
and
Trump.
CEO of the Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, all-star panelist Clint Brewer. Clint, I just love the new way things can be done with X, formerly Twitter. We got Donald Trump down at Mar-a-Lago holding a live press conference. And when he says something, literally during the break, he said something. And it was so interesting. I said, I think I'll share that with Clint Brewer and see his reaction. Okay. We're back to Greenland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, already. Okay.
Already. Here's Trump on Greenland. And he's talking about Denmark. You got to listen to this. Here we go. Trump on Greenland and Denmark.
Back on Greenland, your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take specific actions to draw plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion in addition.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level.
Have you asked your staff to draw plans for acquisition? I mean, are you actively
No, we're
pursuing?
not at that stage, but we have people. I haven't even entered office yet.
Secondly, sir, Elon Musk has drawn some criticism and a lot of
Okay,
attention.
so there we go. There he is.
Yep.
Did you see what he was doing there? You talk about leverage, boy.
I'm not even sure they legally own it.
That was it.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure legally they
You got
have
it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You got it.
Yeah, and I mean, that is actually, as Henry Kissinger would say, has the benefit of being true. I mean, I think that is they're sort of a independent state that is considered part of Denmark, but I don't know if they actually have.
They have self-rule.
They have self-rule. They're not
for some things.
Are they represented? I assume Denmark's a parliamentarian form of government.
Yeah, I think they might have somebody in there, but I don't recall.
I don't know if they have a seat at the table for the governance.
Why would you want to have a seat at the table in Denmark? I mean, Denmark's a tiny little country.
I mean, but 45,000 people. I mean, if political consultants from the United States cannot win a referendum in a country whose population is the size of a small southern or midwestern town.
Oh, listen.
I think we just ought to hang up our spurs.
Political consultants around the United States have just had their eyes light up.
Right.
Because there it is.
Super PAC. The Super PAC for the Greenland independence vote should be formed now.
Yes.
I should be put in charge of it.
This is like too much fun. I think they could make a movie out of this. You know?
I think they could too.
It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I think he had the population number wrong. I think it's, from what I read, it's 54,000.
Okay. Still.
But still, okay. If the population is 54,000,
how many
voters are there?
That's like winning a city council contest in, Chattanooga. I mean.
But how many voters are there?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's 54,000 population, maybe 30,000 voters.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my point. That's not even like winning a state Senate district in Tennessee. I mean,
So the referendum, the prime minister there, otherwise known as the mayor.
He's the prime minister of Denmark.
No,
or of Greenland.
Yeah. They have they've been doing self-rule since like 1979. Right. But he says now he wants to be independent. This is just like happened like a couple days ago. He wants to be independent of Denmark. All Denmark does is provide, defense for him. But, Denmark is not exactly.
Not a big powerhouse.
Not a big powerhouse in defense.
I mean,
right?
I don't know, maybe the folks there don't know what it means, but can you imagine being, offered to become U.S. citizens? The privileges that come with that, the rights that come with that, the protections that come with that?
It would be, yeah.
The economic benefit that can come with that?
So the referendum for either independence or to become a U.S. territory, I think that would be the option. Mm-hmm. But think about how much fun this would be. First, you got to hold this election in the summer.
Right.
Because the American consultants won't go up there.
Right.
And then how do you, do they have Greenland TV?
I don't know. Is there a Fox affiliate in Greenland? Probably not. Maybe we can get Sinclair to go up there. I'm not sure. But
should we have the Greenland Star?
Yeah, you probably should. You should probably start it now. I don't know how you monetize the Greenland Star. But yeah. No, I think I don't know if it's a crazy idea or not.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the American expansionist mode.
It's so big.
Yeah, it is big.
That's the attractiveness, right? Is the land.
A lot of minerals there.
Right.
A lot of, and strategically very significant. Now, how much, let's say how much do you think would be spent? What would your campaign strategy to be? So it's 54,000 people live in all of Greenland.
Right.
All of Greenland. But like the capital city, Nuuk, N-U-U-K, has apparently 35,000 people.
Okay.
And there's 19,000 spread around the rest.
But, I don't have a scope of how big it is. Is it the same size as Texas? Is it bigger than Texas?
I can give you the scope.
Okay.
Texas times 2.
Wow.
That's how big it is. Asterisk, it's about 30% larger than Alaska.
Okay.
But asterisk, 80% of it is covered by a permanent ice sheet about 10 feet deep.
Gotcha.
So when you talk about it, the population, that land mass is twice the size of Texas.
Usable land mass, though, is
20% on the edges.
Gotcha.
Right? Okay. So, but I'm just thinking of what that campaign would look like. How would you do it? How how would you, if you're the consultant, it's, the Free Greenland Pack, the Make Greenland Great Again Pack.
Make Greenland Great, period, pack.
Make Greenland Great
yeah.
Pack comes in and says...
Malamutes and, people on...
They're Inuits.
Inuits. So,
by the way, it just says
lots of people with dog sleds. I mean, the direct mail is being distributed by dog sled,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, really.
No,
that
that's
might be real. I don't know, but I mean, it's going to have to be. It would definitely be a retail. It's door to door.
It's door to door.
It's door to door,
or igloo to igloo, or whatever that is. Hut to hut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a door to door campaign.
Yeah.
And you'd have a bunch of door to door knockers, and what they do is basically. What they would do is you get the Greenland Pack. Elon Musk would put up like 50 million into it or something like that, and they would hire everybody on the island to go door to door.
Yeah, just go to each other's stores. Yeah, and then once we get it, we got to get a Walmart there, a McDonald's, a Starbucks, and a TV station. We'll be good.
Well, we could put a Star News Network studio there,
right?
We'll send you up there for a live broadcast.
We just got to Americanize it. We've got to. Somebody's got to sell pickup trucks. It'll be great.
Back to the whole idea. Back to the Trump he's so clever in the way he did this. He says, "I'm not sure." He didn't say they don't have a legal claim to it. He said,
"I'm just not sure.
I'm just not sure if they have a legal claim to it." Well, let's go back to that legal claim. Now, historically, as you know, Eric the Red.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Leif Erikson. In the year 1000, all the Vikings populated Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
But they were gone from Greenland by 1450.
Yeah.
There's no indigenous Vikings descendants left there.
Okay.
So around 1300, a bunch of Inuits from Alaska trekked across the frozen tundra and began inhabiting Greenland. And all of the people, like 95% of the people living there right now are Inuit.
So not of Scandinavian descent.
Like 95% are Inuit.
Okay.
Now, having said that, and so the claim of ownership was made like in 1700 by Norway and Denmark.
Okay.
When they were combined. And then when Norway and Denmark broke up back in 1808, then Denmark asserted its claim to it. Now, the other little demographic thing that's interesting, apparently, from what I've seen, 95% of the 54,000 Inuit-descended Greenlanders are Lutherans.
Really?
That's what I saw.
Wow.
So, okay,
they're basically Midwesterners. You're right.
But they speak Greenlandic,
right?
Which is like a version of Inuit Alaska.
Okay.
That if you think about the evolution of language, right? If you and I were to go back to England in the year 1000, we would have no understanding.
We would not know.
We would not understand Old English.
No.
It's like kind of German, but not. By around 1350, we would have been able to comprehend that Middle English a little bit, right?
I think there are parts of England now we wouldn't be able to understand real well.
Yeah, because it would be like versions of Arabic, right?
Well,
yeah.
Yes, but I was thinking more of the heavy English accent.
But the kind of interesting thing is Greenlandic is their official language. Their second language is Danish.
Okay.
But I think it's more, the Denmark basically has it as a territory. It's an independent territory. But Denmark spends money subsidizing.
What would we have to pay for Greenland? We would have to give them something, wouldn't we?
Money. Yeah, we'd have to give them some money.
We'd have to pay for it, right?
Well, let's look at this. When William Seward engineered the purchase of Alaska from Russia in 1867, there were about 57,000 residents.
Okay.
Mostly Inuit Eskimos.
What would the price of inflation?
7 million. 7 million back in 1867
what is
for Alaska.
The price of inflation from?
I don't know. But I think we're talking in the billions.
Right.
To buy.
One would think.
Greenland.
To buy an entire country's territory. Yeah.
Yeah. But look, Denmark, Trump makes a very good argument. Denmark cannot defend Greenland against a Chinese or Russian incursion. They just can't. They cannot do it. And so Trump's got a very good argument that in the defense of the free West, only America can do it.
Yeah, it's Denmark. Maybe we can send them like some old tanks and some smoked fish. I don't know. What do you think?
I was thinking something like that. We need to get somebody from Denmark here.
We do. We need somebody to give us a hard time and fight back and give us Denmark's position on this.
We're going to, I had interviewed the former ambassador to Denmark, Carla Sands.
Well, get him
about
on
this.
here.
Carla told me that she wanted to.
Get her on.
She wanted to. She's actually kind of been a little bit quiet because she's waiting for her phone call from DJT before she says something. But she's not going to be the next ambassador to Denmark. She's looking for something else. So we'll see. But yeah, okay. From our vast listening audience, if you are Danish, or if you're listening from Copenhagen, we'd like to hear the counter review.
Call and give us a hard time.
615-649-8477.
We've been joking around.
Because we want Greenland.
Yeah.
We want to make Greenland great, ... Again? Clint, I don't know if I can have any more fun.
You're having fun today, Mike.
We'll have news potpourri when we get back.
Carmichael, CEO of Solti, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Solti, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Solti has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Solti for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Solti and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Solti, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Solti
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's HealthyCell.com. Code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from our studios in downtown Nashville. In studio, all-star panelist, good friend Clint Brewer. It's a little brisk out there today, isn't it?
It's cold.
It's cold.
Legit cold, yeah.
Legit cold. Well, Clint, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, it's that time of day again. Time for News Potpourri. We focus on those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and have a touch of irony. Okay, we got to go there. You're a graduate of the University of Tennessee.
I am, yes.
What happened to the Vols? They got steamrolled by Ohio State.
This is not irony. This is just we played a better football team.
Ohio State, it's funny because, you looked at Ohio State and they lost to Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, they lost some games they shouldn't have. Of course, we lost a game we shouldn't have to Arkansas. And so, had similar things in our records, but they're just a much better football team than they were during the regular season. And, you get into playoffs or a tournament, that's what happens.
I mean, they blew Tennessee out in the water.
Hot. That was terrible, yeah.
Then they went out and they blew Oregon out of the water.
Yes, number one team in the country.
Who they had to, I mean, it was like 38-0 or something. Like, it was just terrible.
Now, they just barely beat them. Oregon had just barely beaten by 1 point in the regular season.
Played them in Oregon.
Yes.
Which has got to be tough if you're a Big Ten school.
That's a long way to go.
And you got to fly all the way across the country. If you're going to fly like an hour and a half, no big deal.
Right.
But if you got to fly like 4 hours, it really goofs things all up. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but good news for the Volunteers. Have you seen the rankings of the basketball teams of late?
They're doing great.
They're number one.
They are.
They are number one.
They are.
Number two is Auburn.
Yeah.
So two. One former 10.
We got a tough game tonight. We play number 8 Florida in Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very hot team. They're having a great season. Bitter rival. It's going to be a tough game. We got a couple injuries. It's going to be a tough game tonight.
It's also hard to go through a college season these days undefeated.
Oh, and basketball doesn't happen.
Yeah, although they're undefeated as we speak. Have we jinxed them tonight? Maybe I have.
No, I don't know about jinxed. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. It was always going to be a tough game.
But let's think about
Florida's programs made a bit of a comeback.
Let's think about the past 12 months in terms of athletic accomplishments by the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, a national championship in baseball, made the playoffs in football, and a Elite Eight team in basketball.
And number one ranked.
And number one ranked right now. Yeah.
Way to go, Tennessee.
Good run.
Yeah, it's a very good run. NFL playoffs here. The Titans will have the number one pick, 3-14. Do they keep Brian Callahan as head coach after year one?
Did I see they fired the GM today?
Did they? I saw a report that they.
I got a text that they had fired the GM. I don't. Maybe that didn't happen, but maybe it was a inaccurate tweet. But or maybe it was speculation. I'm not sure.
I think I saw some speculation. The GM has been there for 2 years, and it's been just terrible for 2 years.
Yeah.
First year coach Jared Mayo at New England went 4-13.
He got fired.
He got fired. That's a tough situation. You never want to be Phil Bankston.
Yeah, I mean,
he
Mayo had
Vince
been
Larby,
on staff. I mean, he had been on Belichick's staff for a long time.
He's a young kid.
He'd been
relatively
he'd
speaking.
been a Patriots player. He's a Vol. He's an All-American for Tennessee.
No.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a big-time player for the Vols, lineman. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the Titans have got to mix something up. Something's got to give because they got to. Those PSLs are not cheap, so they're going to need something to get people excited.
Yeah, and the NFL is like very different. It's evolved pretty dramatically over the past decade, even because like a guy like Bill Belichick, I think he took the North Carolina job because he didn't want to wait around and deal with sort of the NFL hierarchy. And he wanted to run his own deal.
Well, there's that. And I mean, these days as a college coach, you make pretty comparable money and you can go buy players just like you did in the NFL.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's not that different. It's a semi-pro league, essentially. It's really a pro league.
In essence, it's sort of like in baseball, highly paid AAA.
Right.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
developmental league.
Yeah, I mean it's for all intents and purposes a professional league now.
Are you
Division
ready
I.
to make your predictions? We've got one big game coming up, which is Texas and Ohio State, and the other big game is Penn State and Notre Dame. You want to make a pick?
I'm going to take Ohio State and Notre Dame.
I take Ohio, and you know what? I take exactly the same.
Yeah,
because Ohio State has been fabulous.
I mean, look, I've watched all these games. The only team I've watched that looked like a national champion to me has been Ohio State.
Yeah, in terms of their recent
they just
play.
look completely dominant.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's a better team than Penn State.
Plus, Penn State's Penn State. They always choke at the top.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, James Franklin, was just being,
and I just think I think the Notre Dame. I frankly think Notre Dame will. I think Penn State will get out coached.
Yeah.
I just think they've got a better staff.
And then so I'm with you. I think it'll be Ohio State and Notre Dame. Who wins that?
Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to win the national championship.
I think so. And Ryan Day saves his job.
Yeah.
He loses to Michigan, but wins the national championship. If that happens, he'll keep his gig.
Yeah. Maybe for a season. They're pretty impatient up there.
Little
bar's pretty high in Columbus.
Little politics. You would think this would be a no-brainer at the national level. The Laken-Riley Act would require, that's named after the Georgia nursing student murdered by an illegal immigrant in February, would require the detention of any undocumented migrant charged with theft or burglary. All the Republicans are for it, but little Jamie Raskin, he's not going to go for it because, you got to give those illegal immigrant criminals some rights, he says. I don't know. I think that's the wrong side of history. What do you think?
I think the country is ready, all across this country, in red states and blue states, to find some resolution to illegal immigration.
I think you're
it's past due.
Exactly right. On Saturday night, you might find this interesting. There was a documentary down in Mar-a-Lago. Our own Rachel Alexander was there. It was a documentary about the attempt to disbar the great attorney John Eastman. And Alan Dershowitz was down there. Trump was down there. So, that's working well. Oh, one last thing. Sean Duffy, his confirmation as Secretary of Transportation on Easy Street, they say.
Oh, good.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Clint Brewer, it is a delight,
Thanks.
as always.
Glad to be here, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Lots of fun. We'll be back with more tomorrow at 9 o'clock Central Time. Go see all of our stories at TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Have a great day.
Governor Bill Lee, and I want to talk to you about an important education bill in Tennessee. Everyone knows that education has the power to change the trajectory of a child's life forever. And anyone who's raised a child knows that each one's different in their educational needs, and their learning styles, and their talents. The fact is, parents know their own children best. They know what's best for their education and their future. That's why I'm here to talk to you about Tennessee's Education Freedom Act. It empowers parents across our state to use their tax dollars to choose the school that allows their child to thrive, regardless of zip code or income, all while making significant investments in Tennessee's public education. If you want to learn how you can help make the Education Freedom Act a reality in Tennessee, go to educationfreedomact.com and write or call your state representatives. It's educationfreedomact.com.
This ad is
The
paid
Chief
for
Team
by Job
reminds
Creators
listeners
Network.
here that more and more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs too. That's why the Chief Team is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year we hire smart and hire veterans. That's from the Chief Team, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 931-444-3572. That's 931-444-3572 for the Chief Team in Clarksville.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music.
PBS presents a new series hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., Gospel.
Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
Gospel is a prayer. It is our heart's cry to God in lyrics and song.
You feel it
deep down in your soul.
Gospel. Streaming now on the PBS app.